Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Eloisa Romero. I'm an outreach and recruitment counselor here at Cal State Fullerton. I'm actually an alum from Cal State Fullerton. I'm a very proud alum. And with me, we have today Jamie and Kenitsa from the Center for Scholars. They'll be sharing more information about the scholarships that we have here for our students, our future Titans. So take it away, Jamie and Kenitsa. Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for having us. Welcome, everyone. My name is Jamie Hamilton. I'm the Assistant Director in the Center for Scholars, and I will also have Kenitsa introduce herself.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Kenitsa Carrillo, and I am the Academic Advising Specialist for the Center for Scholars. We're so excited to talk to you all tonight.
So we're going to go through and highlight a little bit about our programs and services. So we have a unique opportunity in the Center for Scholars to provide scholarships, which are super valuable to students. But more than that, we have these support services that wrap around and provide a holistic experience for our students to ensure that they are meeting their academic, professional goals and help them have the full experience they want to have during their academic careers. So we're going to go through some slides about that. But first, we're going to share a video. Hopefully. I messed it up here. I'll try it again. Here we go. So we share that video really because the best way for us to highlight the work that we do and the students that we support is through seeing their happy faces and seeing them engaging across campus. And so here at the Center for Scholars, we, as we shared in the video, like to cultivate a culture of inclusion that embraces diversity and individual uniqueness. We provide transformational learning opportunities that encourage broader learning, leadership, and personal growth. And throughout the rest of our slides, we'll share a little bit more about what that means, because we know those are some pretty broad terms that are meant to capture a lot of different experiences here, but what does it essentially come down to and mean for us, the center? So in this first slide here, we're highlighting our 3 scholar programs that are the first programs we had in the Center for Scholars, and some of them are longstanding, actually all of these programs are longstanding opportunities here at Cal State Fullerton. These programs listed here are also our programs that we do recruitment and selection for. So these are the opportunities that are actually available for students to apply for, where some of our programs are students that come from those programs are already coming here with those opportunities before they come to Cal State Fullerton. So the first program listed here is our Abrego Future Scholars program. This program supports our first generation college students. And this program, that means students whose parents have not completed a 4-year degree. So maybe they've started it or they've done a 2-year degree, but their parents haven't completed one. So this can also include a student who maybe their older sibling or someone else in their family has completed a degree, but as long as it's not their parent, they're still considered a first generation college student. These students, we ask that they have a 3.0 GPA to apply. They are eligible to receive a $1,500 scholarship that's renewable for up to 2 years. And this is open to our first year students as well as our first year transfer students. And the reason we have this scholarship is really because we are noticing when it was founded, they noticed that there was a trend amongst our first year students or first generation college students of having some gaps in financial resources, as well as support from family or community with college awareness or resource awareness. And so this program was created to provide access to educational information so that you can get onboarding that recognizes your background and culture, helps orient you to campus, but then also provides the scholarship that can help meet some of the gaps that students have between their financial aid award offers and getting like the last little bit of support they might need for their books or their bus pass or something like that. Maybe it's for a parking permit or just to pay the gap in campus fees. So this scholarship, while small, can sometimes make a difference in a student's opportunity because it's able to take care of their full balance and the student may not have additional expenses, which is a really wonderful resource for our students. And our next program listed here is our Guardian Scholars Program. Here at Cal State Fullerton, we actually have the first program of its kind here to support foster youth students, and that's what our Guardian Scholars Program is. The program was originally founded to support current and former foster youth who were in foster youth on or after their 13th birthday, are under the age of 26, and it provides a full ride scholarship, which is renewable for up to 5 years. This scholarship works in tandem with a student's financial aid award offer and allows them to take full advantage of the resources that are provided to them so that they are able to really get the most out of their educational experience and not have to worry about taking out student loans, incurring debt. Maybe they can work less jobs because a lot of our students, we notice our foster youth students feel a lot of obligation or responsibility, or they have that because they don't have families or communities that they can lean on to support them. So they are fully supporting themselves. And this scholarship provides that resource for them to be able to have themselves taken care of so they can really engage in the college experience. And this program is open to all students that are Cal State Fullerton students, so our new students and our continuing students as well. Then the second part of this that's not listed really here is that sometimes our students miss the opportunity to apply for this program. So we have a support service program as well. So anytime a student who identifies as foster youth is here on campus, we're able to support them. So we welcome them all to our center to provide those resources for them. And lastly listed here is our President Scholars Program. This prestigious program was created by one of our past presidents here at Cal State Fullerton to support high academic merit students, particularly from our local community here in and around Cal State Fullerton. They wanted to retain students who had talent in the community and keep them here because they were noticing so many of them were going away to study or going to other institutions, and they wanted to keep those students who were actively engaged right here at home, keep them here so they could continue those acts of service and contributions to their communities, and that they would continue to do that even beyond graduation as well. So these students often have significant service to their community through a variety of means. They have a 3.5 GPA. They receive a full tuition scholarship, as well as other academic resources like a book stipend, free parking permit, and a laptop that they get to borrow. This opportunity is renewable for them for up to 4 years, and it is offered only to our incoming first-year applicants. So students are encouraged to apply for this program before they even get admitted to Cal State Fullerton, so they can take advantage of this opportunity. The other programs listed here on this slide are those programs that come from outside partnerships. So the first one listed here is My Future Pathways Scholars. It's a partnership with Orange Coast College, or OCC, and they're first-generation college students who are transferring from that institution to Cal State Fullerton, and their scholarship is renewable for up to 2 years. So Orange Coast College notifies students that have identified as first-gen about this opportunity to apply, and then those students are awarded that opportunity as they are admitted to Cal State Fullerton through the application process that's been identified. And next listed here is our Nicholas Academic Scholars. This is a partnership with the Nicholas Academic Centers based in Santa Ana. And these students participate in after-school programs at their local high schools. And once they graduate from those programs, they're able to apply for funding from this organization. And they work with the students to renew those and help that those scholarships are meeting their students' needs. So ensuring that they have resources like supplies, parking, books, tuition, and all those needs are being met for those students. And then lastly listed here is our Sun Scholars. This is a partnership with the Sun Family Foundation, which supports local AVID participants, and they provide renewable scholarships for those students as well. So those are the key parts of our scholar programs. There's a variety of financial opportunities for the students, and we will drop the link in the chat to our website as well if students or folks want to peruse those information a little bit more. And we have links out to all these different agencies as well if people are wanting to learn more about those opportunities. But these are great resources for students to not only have their financial needs met, but also have that holistic support as they're transferring here. And so that's the next part that we're going to talk about a little bit further. Well, Kenitsa is going to talk about a little bit further.
Yes, I will talk about that. And thank you, Jamie, for that introduction and that overview for our scholarship programs. So at this time, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about the types of programming and support that we provide the students who participate in all of these scholarship programs, because what we like to say in the Center for Scholars is that this is more than just a scholarship. There's a lot more that students can benefit from being part of our center. And so we like to show this to everyone because this really highlights the model that how we approach the student support in our center. And you've been hearing us say this word a lot, right? Holistic support services. And so what that really means is that we are seeing you as a whole person. We understand that you're not just a student, that is one of your many identities that you carry with you, and that you have a life outside of academics. And so it is important for us to address these other components because although we center Cal State Fullerton and academics in the middle of this experience, because that is why you come to Cal State Fullerton, to make sure that you're able to get your bachelor's degree. But we understand that these other areas like employment, housing, physical and mental health, life skills, supportive relationships, and personal identity information can sometimes have an impact on academics in a positive or in a negative way. And so what we do here in the center is that we help you in the academic piece, but we also help address some of these other components by either providing direct support services or resources that can help and improve in these other areas. And so all of these, like I said, all of these items can sometimes have an impact on academics, but this is why we're here to help and guide you through these process, which is why it's important for us to make sure that we are addressing these issues or these components in our one-to-one meetings. Next slide, please, Jamie. So let's talk a little bit more about the tangible support, right? What exactly is it that you all are receiving that helps address all of these different components? So right here, you see these three categories, and I'm actually going to start all the way on the right side first and move my way over to the left-hand side because I think it helps the flow of this a little bit better. So I'll start with the financial support because that is really why you're here. You want to learn how you can cover the financial aspect of you being in college. And so like we mentioned, we all of our scholar programs have a scholarship component to it, meaning that you are able to receive funding to help pay for your college expenses. But we also have other support that we offer in our center that help address some of your other academic expenses, right? So academic resources, and this kind of goes in hand with our textbook support. So providing these resources to be able to help you purchase supplies, software, to be able to buy your textbooks so that you can do well academically and make sure you're keeping up with assignments or keeping up with exams. And we also provide support for emergency needs because we understand that sometimes life happens and sometimes we have unexpected costs that we incur during our time as a student. And so there are sometimes opportunities where you can work with us and being able to address what some of those needs are and how they come up. And then we will partner with you as well as with our community partners and our campus partners to be able to provide support to help you in those areas. We also provide academic support for our students. And the academic support, it looks a couple different ways. So we offer our Summer Smart Start program, which I'll talk a little bit more when we get to that slide in a few minutes, but this essentially has to do with the program that helps you as you're beginning your time at CSUF Allows students to see what it's like to take a class at CSUF, so that by the time that you start your time at CSUF, you have an idea of what a class is like, and you're able to meet people so that you're essentially not alone and you already have connections on campus. We also offer the Scholar to Professional program, which again, I will also be discussing a little bit more in depth in a few minutes. But this program is really designed to help students when they are getting ready to transition out of the university. And so something to highlight in this area is that not only do we help you from the moment that you start at Cal State Fullerton, we help and continue to provide that support as you're transitioning out of Cal State Fullerton through graduation into a full-time job, or it can even be graduate school. We also provide retention support services. So this has to do with helping you stay on campus, right? Helping you be a student at CSUF. We understand that sometimes we don't do our best in one of our classes, or we're having a hard time with an exam, or we just aren't having a difficult semester. Again, we understand that those things happen. And so we really work closely with our students to ensure that they are able to get back on track. So we create success plans, and we connect students to tutoring resources and have multiple meetings throughout the semester to connect and follow up with the resources that students need in order to get back on track and to continue to be a student at CSUF. And then we also provide graduating senior programming. So again, it's helping our graduating students apply for graduation, checking in throughout the semester to ensure that they are covering all of their bases, and then celebrating them at the time of graduation. And then in general, our Center for Scholar Support, so this is more support that we provide in the Center for Scholars that is very unique to our space in our center. So students who are part of our scholarship programs have access to in-person and a virtual center. So we utilize a platform called Canvas, and students have access to all of our resources and information on the Canvas. So for example, if they're not able to be on campus, like right now, we have many students who are still doing virtual classes. They can still be connected to our space in our center. And then at the same time, students have access to this information at whatever time they want to access the Canvas. Students are also invited to participate in monthly meetings, and these are opportunities for us to connect with students, because as students, you all get very busy, and sometimes we don't get to see you very often. And so this is an opportunity for us to reconnect, to make sure that we're able to check in with everybody, but also an opportunity for students to get updates on what's going on in the Center for Scholars, what's going on campus, so that students are able to take advantage of the great activities and resources we have for our students. Students get one-to-one advising support. So all of our students are assigned to an advisor who they can turn to and ask for questions. And really this advisor is there to help students navigate their college experience. So for example, if students have a question and they don't know where to go, our advisors are essentially the first person that they can turn to for additional guidance. And again, it's providing the resources and support. And sometimes it's just the encouragement that we need to continue and doing well in our classes. Students also have access to a physical space. So we are located in a very convenient space in the middle of campus in our library. We are on the first floor, and students are able to come into our spaces and they can study, they can hang out. This is a great place where folks connect with other people. We also have access to a computer lab, and students are able to print for free on campus, which is an opportunity for them to save a little bit more money so that they don't have to pay for printing. We also have a lot of activities that we do in our center. So recently we just had an event where we were painting these figures, where students were able to paint them and write words of encouragement to remind them why they're on campus in celebration for our first gen celebration day. And then we also provide fun social activities. So again, I just shared an example, but we also are planning like our Friendsgiving events. We plan self-care activities and so many more things, because again, we understand that you're not just students, and it's important for everybody to fit in a little bit of fun, especially when they're on campus. And so we definitely like to have fun in the center and provide those opportunities for our students to connect with each other and then, you know, enjoy their time at Cal State Fullerton. And lastly, that last bullet point there is counseling and psychological services programming. So we actually partner with a lot of different places on campus, and CAPS, or Counseling Psychological Services, is one of our biggest partners, and they bring tailored programming to our students on topics that our students are interested in, right? So this is how we are listening to what our students want to see. So we have topics on time management, confidence builders, relaxation techniques, managing test anxiety, which ends up being really a popular one, especially during our midterm season and our final season, sleep hygiene workshops, and workshops on relationships and boundaries. So they really cover quite a few different topics, and these topics change every semester because they are what the students want to see. So again, opportunities for students to get tailored programming to their needs. Next slide, Jamie. So I mentioned that I was going to talk a little bit more about our new incoming scholars and a Scholar Smart Start program. And so as students who are applying into our programs, if you are selected, these are some of the things that you can expect to participate as a new student in our center. So we onboard all of our students through our Scholar Smart Start program. And we also have one-to-one meetings with our new students to ensure that they are ready for their academic journey at CSUF. And so in these conversations, we will check in with our students about financial aid support. So as you know, we provide the scholarship, but we also connect with students in case they have any questions about their financial aid. Sometimes there are holds on folks' accounts, or they have to cover certain costs and students don't know how to pay for those costs or how to go about that. So those meetings can be really helpful so that students understand, again, how to go about those processes. We also sit with students and create education plans and support with class registration. This is something that's really important because sometimes students find themselves not knowing what classes to pick. And so this is where, meeting with us, we can connect students to major advisors, minor advisors, general education advisors, and we can actually sit down with students and create academic plans. And so that goes into the academic advising appointment. Not only do we connect you with the appropriate advisors so that you all can get that information that you need, but then we take the information that you discuss with your major advisor, we take the information that you discuss with your general education advisor, and then we put it all together in an academic plan so that you know what your next 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years at Cal State Fullerton will look like. And this is also the opportunity where a lot of students will sit down and they will see when they can add internships into their academic plan, or if students are interested in studying abroad, we can have those conversations. A lot of our students decide to take classes over the summer. So this is where we'll discuss those options with our students if they need to do those options or take those opportunities. We will also discuss, we'll also have students submit a needs assessment and have those discussions with our students in our first meeting. This is typically our check-in meeting. And again, it goes back to knowing that you are more than just a student. So this is where we will talk about all of those different areas outside of academics with students to see how everyone's doing. And the real goal here is to understand and identify any needs that a student may have, because if you do have needs, or if students do have needs, we can start providing resources right away so that it doesn't impact academics, right? And if students don't have needs, this is awesome, and we love to hear that. And again, it's just providing those additional resources and support to help take students to the next level, right? So if students want to get involved with campus organizations, we can start providing those resources. If students want to find a job on campus, we can provide the links for that so that students can start applying. So again, it really just depends on the student and what they want to see and what goals they have for themselves at Cal State Fullerton. And then we also provide on-campus housing support. So this, could be, this looks in a lot of various different ways, but this is where we connect with our students. Some of our students don't know how to go about submitting those applications or the forms needed, or don't even know that that is an option. And so this is where we can work with the student, and we can work with our Office of Housing and Residential Engagement to ensure that students have those opportunities to live on campus if that is something that they choose to do. At the beginning, we also have students participate, or we invite our students to participate in something called the Supporter Welcome Day. And this is an event that's open to students and parents, guardians, foster parents, and any other supporters that our students have. A lot of the times our supporters or our parents or our guardians, they help students during their high school, or while students are high school, but sometimes they don't necessarily understand what it's like to be a college student, or what it's like to be a college student at Cal State Fullerton. And so this is where we will invite the parents, guardians, and supporters to these conversations, and we'll talk about what it means to be a student at Cal State Fullerton, what it means to be a scholar in the Center for Scholars, and how they can be a partner to their student, right? And we see that these folks are valuable partners to students, and we want to make sure that we're providing the information that they need so that they continue to provide helpful and support to our students. And then the Scholar Smart Start program typically follows the Scholar Supporter Welcome Day, and it's during the summer. It's a 1-week program for all of our new incoming students. Our freshmen or our first-time students have the opportunity to take the Reading 201A course, and this is the course that really prepares students to start their fall semester. This course covers a lot of different topics and skills, so a lot of the times our students are learning about valuable resources on campus that they can take advantage of. They are doing reflections, and they are getting to know other students. And so by the time our students finish this course, they have earned 1 unit that they can then use towards graduation, which ends up being really helpful for many of our students, for all of our students, really. We also have a specific transfer experience for our transfer students, because we know that our transfer students have a unique experience that they will incur at Cal State Fullerton. And so we want to make sure that we are also providing those supportive and informational topics that are relevant for our transfer students. And then we also have some fun co-curricular activities. So we bring workshops to discuss topics like creating an elevator pitch and creating professional biography, workshops to explore identities, and other self-care workshops. In that same week, because again, we like to have fun in the Center for Scholars, so we'll also find some time to do game nights, movie nights, crafting, team building activities, and other leadership opportunities. So in this picture, you can actually see the top picture. We had the opportunity to continue our Smart Start program virtually. So this was a snapshot that we took from this past Smart Start. And then we've also had the opportunity to do Smart Start in person. So depending on what the COVID guidelines are going to look like, that will determine what our Smart Start opportunity will look like for this upcoming summer. Students also have the opportunity to engage with donors because our donors are very invested in our students. They want to get to know our students, and they also have unique opportunities that they can provide to our students as well. And this is also an opportunity for our students to practice those networking skills and that professionalism that they will be able to continue to build upon as students, and then will help them as they transition out of the university. And then with all of this, we also provide a Titan starter kit for our students with gear, so that all of our new scholars are able to start the new school year with some Titan swag. And who doesn't love Titan swag, right? So that's a little bit about our Scholar Smart Start program and our onboarding experiences for our new scholars. Next slide, please, JB. So now that we've talked a little bit about the eligibility criteria, for our scholarship programs, and we've talked a little bit about the support and the resources that we provide for our students. This is going to talk to you all a little bit, or I'm going to talk to you all a little bit more about what our student agreement looks like. And really, these are the responsibilities that we ask our students to do every single semester to continue to be eligible for the scholarship and for the support services that we offer at Cal State Fullerton. So I mentioned that we have a virtual center, or we ask our students to participate in our Canvas page, so that students are engaged and know exactly what we talk about in the Center for Scholars. This is also where students can keep track of what requirements that they have to complete and where they stand on their requirements. And then we also ask our students to participate in 2 advising appointments. Like I mentioned earlier, our first advising appointment is really to go over the needs assessment and check in with the student to see where they stand and if there's any needs that the students have. The second appointment has to do more so with creating and updating the education plan. And we do this every single semester because we know that sometimes we have changes in major, minor, or again, we see an opportunity that we're interested in. And so it's a great time for you all to have those conversations with advisors to make sure that the education plan is up to date. And then this is also where students can see how long it'll take for them to graduate, and if they need to do any additional summer semesters if needed, if they want to graduate faster. Students are also asked to complete a progress update form. And so this progress update form is more so of a grade check where they will check in with their professors each semester to see how they are doing in their classes. And this is an opportunity for students to be proactive about their grades. Because if they're doing well, it's an opportunity for them to get that information so that they continue to do those things that are making them successful. And if students get the news that they may not be doing so well, it's an opportunity for them to have that conversation with their professors and get those resources that allow them to improve in their courses. A lot of times our students get very unique opportunities from these conversations where they get to know the professors, and sometimes the professors have access to other resources. So I know students have gotten scholarship opportunities in these conversations, and also internship opportunities, which is really exciting for our students to continue to build upon their skills and get more experience that will help them as they transition out of the university. Again, we ask our students to participate and attend our monthly meetings to stay up to date as to what we're doing in the Center for Scholars. And we also ask all of our students to participate in community service and volunteering. And this more so helps our students start to get some experience that they can start to add onto their resume, but also this allows them to continue to promote that service to others, which a lot of our students have a history of doing. And because we do receive a lot of support from the community through scholarships and other opportunities, it's a way for our students to continue to give back. And then each of our students have a requirement of how many units they must enroll in order for them to be able to work towards completing their degree. We don't want to stay stagnant, and we don't want our students not to have a plan. We're always helping our students think about what the next step is and helping them move towards getting those degrees. And then maintaining an average GPA. And depending on the program, each program has a different GPA that they must complete, but really, again, it's helping them make sure that they are meeting the minimum requirements that they need in order for them to graduate so that they can get their degree at Cal State Fullerton. Next slide, Jamie. So this is some more information about the Scholar to Professional program, which I briefly mentioned before. And this program helps students as they're getting ready to transition out of the university. And so it's helping students gather these valuable items that they will need in either grad school applications or job applications. So getting an up-to-date resume, creating a LinkedIn account, having conversations around career, attending career-based workshops. And when students are able to have these conversations, it helps them be prepared for that transition out, because a lot of our students, although they may be super excited about graduation, it can be it can also be a very daunting process to think, what do I do now, right? And so students participating in this program can start to have those conversations early on with an advisor so that they feel more prepared in that transition. And when students complete the Scholar to Professional program, all of our scholars receive their graduation regalia, which is their cap, their gown, and their college sash. They also receive a very special Center for Scholars gift, and they also have an Alumni Association lifetime membership to continue to maintain connection to Cal State Fullerton and for them to continue to engage in the Center for Scholars as alumni. And then last but not least, we also have these wonderful scholar celebrations where students are able to talk about all of the incredible work that they've done at Cal State Fullerton and talk about the next steps that they're taking after graduating. So again, this is where a lot of our students will talk about grad school opportunities or job opportunities that they land at the time of graduation. So it's a really great opportunity for us to also celebrate our students and be in community with them as they prepare for that next step.
Thank you, Kanitza, for highlighting those wonderful experiences that we provide in the center. And so what I'd like to utilize now is to share a bit about the selection timeline and process for our scholar program, specifically, as I mentioned previously, the Abrego Future Scholars Program, the Guardian Scholars Program, and the President Scholars Programs. So these scholar programs are all listed with the Joint Honors and Scholars application, which is online in the student portal. So we have a link on our website that will jump you right into it, but students can also find it by navigating through that. And you should have access to that even as an applicant to Cal State Fullerton. This joint application is a really wonderful resource for students because you can do one application for multiple programs. So we always encourage students to, it'll ask you some criteria questions and it'll suggest different ones that you might be eligible for. And we say apply for all of them because it's not a guaranteed one into one program or another. So you don't want to have missed out on an opportunity because you forgot to check off a button. So it never hurts to check off more buttons because you can get multiple opportunities. And if you get more than you can handle, you can always decline an opportunity. It's much better to be in that position to decline an opportunity than to have entirely missed out on it. And so this Joint Honors and Scholars application includes our center programs as well as University Honors Program and the Business Honors Program. So those are two unique partners that we work with who are housed across campus, and they provide wonderful opportunities for students as well to gain access to resources on campus, specialized coursework for students within their programs, access to different internships and information opportunities. Business Scholars also has some financial benefits as well for students. So it's a wonderful resource for students to engage in these unique programs as they're onboarding to Cal State Fullerton. For the Center for Scholars, we actually will be closing our applications as early as January 31st. So we really want students to take advantage now of those opportunities, those winter breaks when you are kind of at home hanging out. Please take advantage of that opportunity to work on your scholars application. Feel free to also email us and contact us. Our next slide will have our contact information should you have any questions as you navigate that. But we really encourage you to get started on those applications as soon as possible. We've really worked with our partners to help make this application a lot simpler for students. So we've removed some of the barriers, things like asking for letters of recommendation. We know all of your teachers and supporters are extremely busy professionals, and sometimes that's the barrier between some of our students being able to get these financial opportunities. So we have taken out the requirement for letters of recommendation, but students have a place where they can add attachments. So you can put that letter in there if you'd like to. You are able to add all kinds of different things on to the attachment portion of the application to highlight who you are as a student. Throughout your application, we really encourage you to think about what it might be like for the person on the other side reading your application. So really sharing your personality, the unique things about you. Sometimes it's a little awkward to talk about ourselves, but really helping the reviewer understand who you are, your goals and aspirations. What do you want to do with your degree? We know sometimes there's some standard things we kind of say or have practiced writing in our journeys throughout college. I really want you to look at those things and take it beyond just the standard, like I wrote a really great essay for college admissions, and really think reflectively on the questions that are being asked of you and what the reviewer might be wanting to know. Generally in our reviewers are looking to see who you are. Why would you want to come to Cal State Fullerton? What might you gain out of these experiences here? Is this a student who is demonstrating that they will take advantage of these opportunities and that they're really excited for them? So we really encourage you all to utilize those tools as you're filling out your application. We will be doing an open house. It will be very similar to this, but we'll also have an added component as well with some current students in the program. So we will be able to do either a panel with students or breakout rooms with students. And it'll be a virtual opportunity for students, prospective applicants, to kind of learn more about those opportunities, hopefully before the application deadline closes, so that you can get some last minute ideas and things like that to include in your application. But we're working on a couple different timelines, so we'll see when that comes out, but we will be sure to get that information posted on our website as soon as that's secured. In the month of February, our selection committees will be reviewing the applications and determining the students that will be participating in interviews. And then in March, we will have our scholar interviews. We are still to be determined if those interviews will happen virtually or in person, but they will be happening. And I know sometimes the thought of an interview can be very intimidating has been for most every single student we have in our programs. Again, it's another time that the committee's already liked you. They've already invited you here. They really want to get to know you and learn more about you. And so, as much as it's intimidating, we always try to let people know that we try to make it fun. We try not to make it super intimidating. We want you to let your personality shine, let your interest shine, share a lot about who you are so that folks can be excited about supporting you through your experiences on campus. And then by March 31st, we'll actually be sending out offers to students. So that's well before the university commitment deadline. So you will have this opportunity, you'll know about it. We'll be able to start looking at other financial resources you have, helping you really get a good picture about what your opportunities here at Cal State Fullerton might look like before a lot of the deadlines come up. So you will have all the information you need and you'll be ready and eager to come on to campus with us. And then we're already putting out here as well that this following summer in the month of July, we'll be having our Smart Start program. So it's a week-long opportunity like Kenitsa said, and we're looking again to see if that will be offered virtually, some hybrid modalities, or in person. So as soon as we know that information, we will share it with our incoming scholars. So that's a little bit about the process for our students. And this last one here is any questions. So if anyone has any questions they'd like to drop in the chat, we welcome those. We're happy to answer anything. We also are available for you to send us an email, check out our website. We have been uploading some of our workshops and activities on our YouTube page. So it's another great way to kind of see who we are. We also highlight a lot of our fun engagement and the programs we partner with on campus as well through our Instagram. So we're very active on those two social media platforms. So we welcome you all to check it out, share with your friends. I am actually also going to drop in the chat our outreach, our flyer for our program. I had it. This is what happens. I move things and then I can't find it anymore. Here we are. Great. So that is a flyer that you can share. We're going to be emailing it out through our outreach partners who generously hosted us today, but making sure that all of our prospective students receive that information about these opportunities. So it can be a fair number of students that you may be joining in and applying to these programs, but we're so excited to welcome new students to our programs and have you meet our amazing, amazing scholars who are students just like yourselves who are wanting to make the most out of their time at Cal State Fullerton. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Thank you so much, Kenitsa, for all the amazing information and the amazing support you provide to our students. So if there's no questions right now that we can answer for you all, you can put them in the chat. But if there's no more questions, then we're gonna end the session here. Thank you again for being here, for all the support that you provide for our students. I think we do have a question. So the question is, so the scholarships that you were mentioning in the presentation are available for CSUF scholars students?
So the scholarships that we mentioned are for prospective students that are coming to Cal State Fullerton. So they're for students who may not have entered Cal State Fullerton yet, except the one exception for that is the Guardian Scholars Program. So former foster youth students are able to apply for that program throughout their time here. There are a number of wonderful resources available through that same scholarship portal that we linked to for current Cal State Fullerton students as well, that current students or even prospective students can also apply for. That application typically goes up in the spring semester for students to apply for, and those resources can be for the spring term, a future semester. Each one of them kind of works a little bit differently, and there's a large number of opportunities that go up on that website, and they have many students, many opportunities, and not as many students take the time to provide a full application for the general CSUF scholarship application. So we always encourage any student that we work with to utilize that scholarship portal for those opportunities throughout their time here. I hope that answers the question.
Awesome, thank you. We have another question that says, I'm an avid tutor, but I was not an avid student in high school. Would I still be eligible for the Sun scholarship?
I'm not sure, David. I would, through our website, we have a link out to the Sun Foundation. Let's see if I can try to find something, because their stuff, they tell us, the people, because there are so many students that qualify for avid scholarships that it's actually divided amongst several different programs and charitable organizations throughout LA and Orange County. So there might be a multitude of different ones that students qualify from, but the Sun Scholars one, oh, cool. And their website's not working. Neat. Now I have to find it, because the Sun Family Foundation actually has other opportunities as well for students. So there's a lot of different organizations here on campus that provide opportunities. So let me see if I can.
Jamie, I put in the link to the Sun Family Foundation already on the chat if you want to check that one out.
Yes. So yes, through there. And then they have a tab on the top that says scholarships. So there is actually 3 different ones on there. So they list the Sun Scholars Program. They list a separate organization that they work with, as well as the Simon Scholars, which is another program very similar to Sun Scholars that also supports avid students. So you can, they have contact information there as well to learn more about those opportunities. And the other thing that's great about these types of organizations is they're so deeply connected with other agencies in the area that they might be able to refer you out to another agency you didn't even know about that's providing a scholarship. So it never hurts to ask a lot of different folks for questions, because you might learn something you never knew existed before.
That is so true. And I can testify, I was an Abrego Future Scholars. So, you know, it's such an honor and, you know, full circle that I'm a staff member now. So thank you all for your work and commitment to your students and the services that you provide. And we really, really appreciate it. So make sure you submit your application. We already talked about the scholarships, the deadlines. And if you have any other questions, looks like there's no more other questions in the chat or in the Q&A. We're gonna end the session here, but feel free to reach out to us. We have our social media that you can follow us, also our YouTube link. If you wanna follow us on Instagram, we're at Outreach, CSUF Outreach. And I'm pretty sure you all have our social media as well.
Yes, we do. It's at CSUF Scholars. And I can't, the YouTube one is long, but it's linked on our website.
Yeah, and this session has been recorded, and I will put all the links that Jamie and Kenita put in the chat. I will link that for our YouTube description. So thank you so much for being here, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye, thank you.